Hey guys, this is Matt with Deep Woods Paranormal. Today I'm going to go over what's in my evidence collection kits. What do I carry with me and just in my backpack. Sometimes gear gets thrown in there or attached to it like a GoPro or whatever. But essentially this is just the gear that I carry with me. It doesn't really go into emergency stuff or anything like that. It does kind of cover a little bit of the basics. But I'm going to kind of cover all the stuff, as you can see on the table here. I'll go through and explain what all of it is. Some of it's like, okay, I know exactly what that is, but you're asking, what's in the bag? What's in the box? I'll go over all that with you in just a minute. Okay, so basic backpack. I don't carry a heavy-duty backpack out into the woods. This is just an Ozark backpack from Walmart. The reason being, I go through backpacks like crazy. Has MOLLE strapping, which is great, all the way around, and then has these places, I'll show it to you on the floor, has these straps where I can put the GoPro or whatever, I can clip it on there, which is great. So essentially that's the backpack. It's a cheap backpack. If you want a backpack like that, you can go to Walmart and get one. So let me start from the back of the table, work my way forward, and we'll kind of go back and forth in a zigzag pattern here. So you're asking what's in the box. Let me show you. So this, I'm not going to open this up. This is a very fine powder. A lot of people carry plaster casting with them. I've tried plaster casting and had horrible results with it because the weather just drops like a rock and all of a sudden it won't dry. So that stuff takes a while to dry. This is dental casting. Like if you went to the dentist and they basically took a sample of your teeth, they put that little cup around your teeth, the bite down thing that you use. Essentially, that's what this is. What they do is they take those molds that they take from your teeth and they use this to create a hard, model. So, okay, I know this says food on it, but it actually is a just a boo-boo kit. Essentially in here, I'm not going to go through everything. There is Band-Aids, antibiotic ointment, large and small Band-Aids. I think there's a couple wraps. There's some asthma medicine in there because I do have asthma, unfortunately. And a few other things that I need in the woods in case something happens. I get stuck somewhere, which is always a possibility when you're out in the middle of nowhere. No cell phone service or whatever. So, another thing I carry with me, it's just, again, another cheap little Walmart dry bag. I've used this many times. Great for keeping your gear dry when it starts to rain. Audio recorders go in here sometimes. Cell phones sometimes go in here if I need to. My older cell phones, this is an iPhone, so it doesn't really need it. You name it, it starts to rain or whatever. I want to have a place to put anything I need to keep dry. I want to keep it in there. Machete. Just got this little guy. Might do a review on it. Really cool knife. Very sharp. Got it off Amazon. I can't remember the name of it. Anyways, just a very sharp knife. And you're going, okay, so what are you using a machete for out in the woods? Well, unfortunately, we bushwhack quite a bit to get where we're going. A lot of the times, the places we pick are sometimes right off the road. Sometimes we'll walk up and down where the oil, basically the oil area is, where there's the cutouts, where there's no trees or anything, and we walk along that. Just because Bigfoots are said to be in that area, they use that supposedly use that kind of like a highway. All right, so enough rambling. All right, Repel. This is the DEET free one. I have the other DEET one, but I find this doesn't burn my skin as bad. So, sprayed on my clothes. This is just a backup. This is what I carry in my bag, just in case. Another thing I carry are these little mosquito repellent bands. You can get these again at Walmart. I think they're a couple bucks a piece. Anytime I'm in there, I grab quite a few. Water bottle, Nalgene water bottle. Holds up to almost 100 milliliters. And then in case I need it, or I want to make a cup of coffee, and this is gross, so I need to clean this out. Essentially, this is what I use. Haven't ever used this cup. This is a brand new cup I just got. But I can boil water in there if I needed to, and whatever else. Boonie hat. I always carry a boonie hat with me, just in case I need it. Sometimes it gets hot, sometimes it rains, sometimes it, does whatever, or you're walking in an area where stuff like branches and trees and all that stuff, not big branches like widowmakers, but just little branches are falling off the trees, or pine needles or whatever are falling on you. And then also there's, of course, ticks and spiders and stuff that sometimes come down. All right, we talked about all that. Water bottle. This again goes with this. What I do is I bag up the dental mold into a plastic bag, kind of like this, a hefty bag or something heavy duty, so it won't spill out, because it's just, like I said, it's a very fine powder and it goes every freaking where. It gets on everything, gets in everything. So, but it dries so quickly. That dental mold is amazing stuff. It dries so quickly and hardens within like a half an hour. So if you're using it, you have to go really quickly. Somebody in the Bigfoot field, when I first started, said, hey, try this. And so that's what I basically used. But again, I carry at least one bottle of water to mix that up with. All right, so a couple of these things go hand in hand. This is just a regular old paper bag. As you can see, just like a lunch sack bag. I was told samples can go in these. What you do is you basically write down the GPS coordinates, the time, the day that you found it, and then basically use a Sharpie. I keep everything in bags just because things explode sometimes when we're in higher elevations. I've had a pin crack down the side and explode and go all over everything, and then everything's covered with black ink, which is awesome. Not. Anywho, okay, so moving on. Again, big Ziploc bag, and there's more bags in here. I actually need to probably add a few more bags in here. They're all different sizes, again, to collect samples. If I somehow run out of paper bags or whatever, or samples too big to go in the paper bag, I can put it inside one of these Ziploc bags or whatever and go from there. Gloves, disposable gloves. I carry these with me because I don't want to touch anything. I want to be very careful about anything that I'm touching, because I don't want to mess up the DNA, especially if I'm trying to grab a hair, or there's some kind of something that it might have DNA in it. I want to make sure I'll have a mask on, I'll have glasses on, I'll have a hat on, just to make sure that I don't ruin the DNA if it isn't ruined already. Pair of little tongs. I always wipe these. I have alcohol prep pads that I carry with me. I wipe them down. If I'm going to grab a little hair off of something, a tree or whatever, I use this. These are really long and skinny, which is nice for grabbing stuff. And you're going, Matt, you've lost your marbles. Nope, they're right here. So yeah, I carry marbles with me. I have a big box of them, but I usually just carry a few with me. Sometimes when we're in an area that I know not very many people come into, I'll set this somewhere. I'll set it where it's visible, but not, overly, where somebody could just walk by and grab them or mess with them. And then I'll take a picture of them. I'll set them in a pattern or whatever. Take a picture of it, walk away. If we don't leave a trail cam in that area, and essentially then we'll essentially just leave it. We'll just leave it and come back and see if it's been moved, just to see if maybe a Bigfoot supposedly moved it. There's a lot of theories on this that, gifting is a cool thing. In the national forest out here, we can't leave corn, we can't leave certain things because of the deer, and I don't want to run into a game warden and have to explain why I'm carrying around corn or anything else that I'm not supposed to be carrying, I'm sure he'll have a nice ticket for me. So, all right, another thing that we carry, or I carry, when we go out, if I can get this open, sorry for covering the screen. All right, so this is just a little it's not night vision, it's just a regular binoculars. We do carry night vision binoculars that record as well, but if you're out during the day, those won't work. So essentially, you know, of course, you want to have a long lens camera and a DSLR camera, which we do carry. But also we carry these little cheap little, this is just a cheap little lens here. It's really good though. It's a really good lens. It needs to be cleaned, evidently. So, all right, so that's what that is. So that just stays in this little pouch. Sometimes I'll attach that to the front of the backpack on the other side, on here with a carabiner or something, just so I can easily grab it. Excuse me, and look. Another thing I carry with me, I do wear glasses, but sometimes we walk through all kinds of crazy stuff, and pollen and dust and not tree limbs, but leaves and stuff, branches smack us in the face. So it's always good to have a pair of safety glasses, just to make sure that we're keeping our eyes protected. And as you can see, they're pretty wide. They go all the way around, so they protect the sides of my eyes too, which my glasses don't. So I can see without my glasses, I just can't see as well. So especially during the day, I can see real well during the day. It's the night that kind of messes with my vision a little bit. Not much, just a little. I used to have 20/20 vision. Now I have a little bit less than that. So, anywho, these are glasses that I can wear during the day, walking around, especially if we're going in a heavily brushed area. And then I always carry a bracelet with me, paracord bracelet. Again, don't want to turn this into a survival, show or anything like that, which most people might like. But essentially, if something happens, this has a little striker, has a little ferro rod in it, which is, they're terrible, to be honest with you. I have one on my wrist right now. A little whistle that I can use in case I do get lost, or I'm trying to locate somebody else in my party, or sometimes Bigfoots will whistle. And so this is a cheap little whistle. I usually cover the top and blow into it, and it kind of sounds like a real low whistle. A little, basically if you're whistling going, excuse me, that's kind of how it is. It's not very, very loud. Backup batteries. I always carry an Anchor battery with me. If you've not seen an Anchor battery, bear with me, I'm doing this one-handed. This is about a 1.5 to a 2 charge battery. I've had this forever. It's just got USB on top and then a way to plug it in as well to charge it. The one on the left is a charging port. The other part right here is for your phone. And then this is fully charged. This has been fully charged for over a year. I will top this off. I'll put it on there for just a few minutes and make sure it doesn't need any more charge. But this will charge my battery about 1.5 times. And again, it's pretty light. And if you're out in the wilderness, something happens and you can get a cell phone signal and you're lost, or you need help, or you just want to call somebody real quick, you can use this if your battery's low or dead, or if you're like me, you spend your day kind of recording with your phone as a secondary camera. It's good to have an extra battery charger to keep your phone ready to go. Speaking of batteries, more batteries in here. Again, I keep everything in Ziploc bags. I carry a lot of AAA with me because a lot of my stuff that I use uses AAA batteries. And then, of course, some AA, just to have some backup. I do not use the cheaper batteries. I've had experiences with those in the past, with the ghost hunting, where the batteries just get completely and utterly drained out of nowhere. and the more expensive batteries tend to not do that. Okay, so a cleaning cloth, that goes for, you know, the glasses, it goes for the monocular, it goes for my glasses that I'm wearing on my face. A lot of uses. You guys can kind of go through and figure that out. I carry an extra knife with me. This is a nice one. This is a Kershaw, which I used to carry. Which I used to carry all the time with me as on my person. Now I have a secondary Kershaw that I like better. This is a cool knife. It has this little flip back, and looks like it needs a little bit of oil. That's a very sharp blade, and so having a second backup knife on me is just good in case I lose my knife, it breaks, whatever. I don't plan on using my knife for any kind of anything, you know, survivalish, but you never know. Always have a backup for your backup. And of course, I carry a fixed blade knife as well. This is an actually nicer blade. I forget who makes this, but this is a pretty nice knife. You know, I have a friend that makes knives. So essentially one of these days I'm going to do a video for him. But yeah, I mean, this is a cool knife. I mean, I beat things up when I'm out in the wilderness. I don't try to, but things happen. And so this is a full tang. In here, good. Wow, really in there. Okay, let me set the phone down just for a second here. Oh my gosh. Okay, sorry about that. So that's a full tang knife. That is made by Schiff. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. So again, a full tang knife. I can baton wood with this or whatever. Normally I just carry these just in case if I ever had to protect myself. This is a great knife to protect myself with against pigs, or I don't ever think a Bigfoot's going to probably attack me, but you never know. So that's a nice knife just in case. And as you see, it snaps in pretty tight. Ferro rod on the side, so always good to have a backup fire starter. So let's get more into Evan's collection. You're going, okay, what is all this stuff? All right, so this is black powder. This is what the police use to collect fingerprints. Hi, Tinky. I also have a brush in case we find a fingerprint or whatever. Sometimes at homes, people will actually see fingerprints on windows and doors, glass doors. I was listening to somebody on Facebook who they actually had like the Bigfoot wrap their hand around the 4x4 post on their house and left fingerprints. They got pictures of it, but they didn't get you know, any kind of DNA samples or anything off of it. So this is what they use to collect the fingerprints. Once you've used the dust, you've dusted the print. Essentially, this folds back. You stick this like a piece of tape on the actual fingerprint, and then you fold it back on top of itself, and you've captured the fingerprint. So that's very important. Unfortunately, we've yet to find any fingerprints that were 100% Bigfootish, but we're still looking, and I just want to make sure if we ever get to the point where we have fingerprints, we can document them, not only document them, but capture them. And then, you know, send them off to somebody who researches primates or whatever, yada, yada, yada. Anyways, measuring tape, not only for measuring footprints, but also for maybe measuring gapes. I do carry a secondary tape measure in the car, just in case I need it, a 25-footer. But anything with over a 10-foot gape is going to be a monster. I mean, just ginormous. Okay, so I showed you the tongs earlier, the little tweezers. So essentially, we carry these two. These are tiny. Essentially, these are evidence collection kits. You basically hair samples or anything else that may have. Okay, listen back for the disembodied voice. Anything else that may have DNA, we can put them in here, snap this down, and they'll be sealed, and we can send them off and have them tested. We are working with a few people that do DNA. We haven't been able to send anything out yet because basically things unfortunately got contaminated. Bigger collection tubes. If we get a piece of skin or something like that, we can put it in here. Maybe a longer hair, we can try and put it in here. The bags I showed you earlier also are good for that. Hair samples, if you get a big cluster, something that won't fit in one of these two bags, put it in there. Again, everything needs to be documented and dated. And then Q-tips, you're going, well, what the hell do you need Q-tips for? Again, if we have a sample where there's blood or whatever, we can kind of carefully wipe that with the quick Q-tips, cut off the tip of it, put it in either in here or in here, and again, we can send it off. And I think I already showed you the extra bags, just in case we need extra collection. So essentially that is everything that I carry with me when I go out. Not everything. This is just what goes on, in or on my bag for collection purposes or documentation purposes. We do have a crap ton of other gear that we carry with us. And like I said, we'll go into the Bigfoot hunting gear later on. But anyways, all right, guys, hope you liked this video. Please give us a like and a thumbs up. Please share the video on social media and anywhere else you can think of. Really helps us to grow our channel and get our content out there. So thank you guys again. We appreciate you listening and watching. Have a great day.